Shares of Tesla are soaring today as many investors bet a Donald Trump presidency will benefit Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who has been a big backer of the former president. Here to react, we've got Karl Brauer, executive analyst at icars.com. Karl, good to have you back here with us, and thanks for taking the time here. You know, as we're thinking about the people that have annexed themselves to a campaign, perhaps none more so than Tesla co-founder and CEO Elon Musk, what does this ultimately net out for Tesla?
Well, it's interesting because we know that there's a lot of government help or incentive or regulation all pushing the electric vehicle transition. And Tesla's absolutely benefited from that. But we also know that Donald Trump doesn't necessarily support that thinking. You know, he's not big, backed out of the Paris Accords. He's not necessarily a big supporter of the concept of a government-led transition to EVs. And if you look at some of the other electric vehicle stocks like Rivian and Lucid, they're not doing so well. So it's interesting to see that people feel like Elon's relationship with Donald Trump will overcome a potential shift in policy, because I do think the EPA regulations and expectations for electric vehicle sales and market share are not realistic. There's a disconnect between what the government wants to have happen, the current policy wants to have happen in the next 10 years, and what seems to be happening in the actual marketplace. And I expect we're going to see a reassessment and likely rollback of those requirements, which should be somewhat negative for all the electric vehicle companies to not have that kind of government support, including Tesla.
You know, as I'm taking a look at a note from Wedbush and analyst Dan Ives over there, who a good friend of the show, you know, one of the things that he mentioned is a Trump win being good for Tesla and Musk here. But then you ultimately think about what this means for some of the major investments that Tesla has made as well. Full self-driving, AI, you know, how does this all pass through in the relationship between Trump and what he's prioritized versus what Tesla has prioritized and communicated to their investors and analysts that they're going to be spending billions of dollars on?
Well, that's the interesting thing, again, is that I think Elon has realized that he's not going to long-term make his fortune or grow his fortune in electric vehicle sales. He really needs to find the next big thing. And whether it's robotaxi or personal robots, he's put a lot of time and energy and resources and investment into those technologies. And how long it's going to take to get there remains a big question. You know, Mercedes is further along. They've got consumer available self-driving at level 3 capabilities, and they're the only ones out there. And, you know, companies like Google are much further along with their self-driving efforts in terms of regulations. So Tesla's behind the 8 ball on this. He talks a big game, but he's still got to get through all the regulation once the technology is ready, and it doesn't seem to be quite ready yet either. Same thing with personal robots. Now, will Trump be supportive of those technologies more so than the previous administration? Probably. I don't think the previous administration was a growing fan of Elon. So he may be able to get some help and have an ally in the White House to help him get to that next level beyond electric vehicle sales. And maybe that's among the things that investors are hoping for.
What about the audio industry as a whole? What does the Trump presidency mean for automotives?
Well, I think, again, the traditional automakers have been trying to navigate this nearly impossible task between keeping government regulations happy and meeting those, and keeping their customers happy and selling them the cars they want. And, you know, you look at someone like Volkswagen, who's made some pretty astounding comments in the past week about potentially closing home plants in Germany, which they've never done in the history of the company, simply because they're having financial challenges. And a lot of these traditional automakers, they're investing in EVs because they feel like they have to, but they're not seeing financial returns, and they're not sure how long it's going to take to get profitable in this area. So a Trump presidency and a reduction in those requirements overall is a good thing for the automakers, the traditional automakers. It's going to free up their ability to have a wider path between keeping government happy and keeping their customers happy. Right now, they don't really have a realistic path, in my opinion.
Karl Brauer of icars.com, executive analyst over there. Karl, always a pleasure to get some of your insights, and thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you.